Welcome back to December Daily. Today is story number 5 for 2021, and I am working on the back of yesterday's page protector in the 10 by 8 album. Yesterday I did a story about decorating, had fun making a shaker pocket, made this tag, added another photo. And so today, originally I had making a list was the card in here, but I think I'm going to swap that out and I'm going to use Simply Celebrating instead, because the story that I want to tell is about Anna and a couple of her friends getting older, right? Getting to do a little more fun outside things with friends, as well as they did some volunteering yesterday. And so I am going to pair these photos in here. So I've got a 4x4 of them at one of our little outdoor malls, and then I've got a 4x4.5, so 4.5 tall, that's going to go on the back of this tag right here. So I've got that's going to go on there. Have the Simply Celebrating. What I'm planning actually for the journaling on here is I'm going to ask Anna to write on here just a little bit about spending time with her friends during the holidays, maybe a little bit about the volunteering. I probably won't have this done. She's actually not here. She's at an activity this morning. So I'm going to try to do everything else, and then I'll have her add this in, and then I'll take the picture. So in the end, you'll see that. Couple things to note about that. There are things that I want you to think about. Number one is the reminder to invite other voices. And this is something that I talk about every year, whether it's kids' handwriting, maybe it's your parents' handwriting, maybe it's your partner, like thinking about other people's voices that you can actually include via asking them or requesting them to write something down. So that's what I think I'm going to do on that one. What I'm going to pair this with then, if you, from my foundation pages, what I had next in the album is this wreath transparency. And I actually think that I'm going to move that in the album itself. I think I'm going to move it behind here. It doesn't really matter because I don't have a specific number on there. So again, this is one of the great things that's cool to be able to move it around, and then use this for the next day. And one of the things that Anna brought home recently was this really cute bag from Hallmark, and she had bought something for a friend there. I think it was like a card or something. But I'm going to cut this bag up because I think it's so cute. I mean, obviously I could just add the bag in. It's a little bit too big, but I love the design. I love the sentiment, keep your heart brave and your imagination wild. Actually, this was, I think she had a card for one of her friends, or maybe a little necklace, one of their birthday. So I was just going to cut that out, and I'm thinking that I'll probably cut around here potentially, but I might wait to cut around there until I add like a picture on the other side. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about here. So another tip then is looking for opportunities to bring in stuff from the real world, right? So bags or other wrapping or ephemera, tags, all that kind of stuff can be really fun to add in here. The back of this bag actually even has these other little cute things that maybe I will save and then potentially add on there. But what I want right now is just the front design, and then I'll add this in as a page, and then the back, I'll put a photo on the back for the next day. So let's see. So right now I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this. Hopefully you guys can see this. I'm just cutting out the actual design that I want to use. I'm going to leave a little bit of extra space on this side over here for the holes to be punched out to go into the album. And then I'm just going to trim this a little bit right now. Like, let's say we'll trim it about like that, because I think what I might want to do is for tomorrow, once I have my photo for tomorrow, that I will then go around and like do a scalloped around the 3 edges, or cut around, which I don't want to do that right now, because what that would require is that I have to recut that all out again on whatever photo is going to be on the back. So let's just write photo here. Just, whoops, that's the wrong pen. Photo here, so then we'll remember that part for tomorrow. And then we can punch the holes in here for now. Just use this guy. This will be on there for tomorrow. Let's see. Something that's close enough. Okay, I just think that's really cute, and I think that having the scallop part is also going to be really cute tomorrow. So looking for, you know, something from the wild, right? Something out in the wild. Okay, so then here, for this one, I just need to trim this out. Ooh, maybe I could actually bring, let's think about this. Let's think about what are ways that I could bring this onto this page so it's tying it all together. So one thing that I could do is add that to the bottom of this one. So thinking, cut that out, and I could have a little border on both on these two. So that's super fun, and that will tie it all together. So again, in terms of design, looking for opportunities to tie, especially if you're doing something that's across both pages. Obviously, for this one, you could easily just have this be the page, right, where you're filling in the pockets. And I think that's one of the choices that we make in this project ongoing is how, you know, do you just want it to be one page or do you want it to be a spread? And sometimes I like it to be a spread and sometimes I like it to be a single page. I think so far most of the ones that I've done have been spreads. So I'll probably move to doing a few single pages here later this week. Partly the single pages just make it so that the overall project itself isn't so huge that maybe you need multiple albums. I know some people like doing multiple albums. Obviously that's going to be personal preference, and some stories just need 2 pages and some can be told on 1 page. So what I'm doing right now is I'm taking my scissors. I'm going to use the smaller scissors on here, and I'm trimming this out. Again, this was the back side of this bag from Hallmark, but you could, you know, maybe in your stash of stuff, you may still have, do you remember the scallop like border punches? I think that they still sell those. So some sort of a scallop border punch or some other, you know, ribbon for a border. That could be something that you could do. You could reprint this journal card if you have the digital version and like just cut out the row of dots, or you could use maybe enamel dots that would look similar to that and put those on your photo or your second page in a way to tie the 2 pages together. So I'm going to just keep cutting this out. I'm going to trim out both of these. I'm going to stop talking because it's hard to talk and cut these at the same time. So I'll just put a little music here, and then I'll be back on here with some more details. All right, so as you saw before here, step 1 for me, at least in the next part of the process, is trimming these out. And I'm using some small little micro tip scissors. It was a number of years ago when I was using like those big scissors for cutting like this, and somebody said, "Why don't you use small scissors?" And I said, "I don't know." And then I ordered some, and then I was like, oh, this is the reason why these exist. So side note, if you're looking for some new scissors or you wanting to do some more fussy cutting, like I know that I will use those when I cut out the rest of the brown bag with tomorrow, or, you know, after I establish a photo for tomorrow. So as I was trimming those out, I also decided to crop my photo, or the larger photo that I'm going to put on the back of that tag from yesterday. And so sometimes when I do tags like this, I don't attach the trim or the ribbon there, but this time I did. So I just used a pen to figure out where the hole is supposed to be. Used the We Are Memory Keepers hole punch for that, so at least I have the hole on there. And then I did pull back up the staples, the tiny attacher staples, and that I had on there yesterday, just so that I would have a little bit more flexibility in how I was going to treat this as a tag that essentially ends up having a front and a back. So I am gluing those together. I don't always do that when I'm putting things inside of a page protector, but it seemed to make sense for this one and how I was setting it up. A couple other things that I'm thinking about while I'm doing this is, do I want to cut a slit in the page protector pocket itself to be able to have like the ribbon stick up the top on this page? And so that's just something that's kind of in my mind as I'm going about this process. And you can see that I am trimming the tag so that it is the same on the front and the back there. So I love turning photos into tags. I just always think that looks so cute, whether it's a big giant photo or it's a smaller photo. in my foundation pages, I had pulled out that plastic number 5 with the white border around it. That's from, I think, A Week in the Life kit a number of years ago. That came out of the box of numbers that I have. I used the We Are Memory Keepers hole punch again to punch a hole in that 5 so that I could have it be a part of the tag itself. So that's going to go through the ribbon, and I'll come back to that in just a minute. In the meantime, I went back now to trimming out the rest of the scallops there. And like I was mentioning before, tomorrow I will print out a large photo. It ends up being about, I think it's a little bit, 6x8 size, and then we'll trim around the whole thing. So I will think about that as I am taking pictures, or as I am thinking about what picture I will use tomorrow, right? Knowing that I might want to do the scalloped edge around the outside. Obviously, I haven't done it yet, so maybe I won't do it, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to do it because I like the idea of having that scalloped edge. I think it might look really cool with a photo there too. I'm just using a little bit of rolling adhesive on the bottom to adhere down the scalloped edge that I cut out of the back of the bag. Again, that bag was from Hallmark. I don't know if they have different ones there now or what, but that was something that Anna had brought home with her. Then I'm adding, attaching the one on the bottom of the top photo too. Just so cute. And so thinking about photos from your kids or other people, this original photo there on the top is one that Anna had shared on her own account. And I just screenshotted it and then printed it out and then asked her today, can I use that photo in my project? And she said yes. And then the other photo of the girls volunteering came from one of the moms. So they had texted that to me. And so I just printed it out. And now it appears in the scrapbook, which is really cool. So the next idea I had there is I am using one of those loop pins again, the Tim Holtz loop pins, and one of the canvas phrase pieces to add on to my tag. So having a little bit of something that is coming off of the tags, I always like to do that. And this is one too that can fit inside the page protector even if I don't decide to cut something out from the other side. But that's kind of what I'm thinking about at that point in the process right now. And you'll see me now kind of go back and forth a little bit of like, what can I do here? Can I cut a slit? Like I've done it lots of times before where I cut the a slit in the page protector so that something can stick out the top from the other side, right? So on the one side of the page protector, there's always something can stick up out of the top, but then on the other side, you can't do it unless you cut a slit in there. So as I was looking at it, I was like, okay, what could I do that's not necessarily just the same, like cutting a slit along the seam. So what I decided to do was cut a slit that's lower than that. And I'm just putting in this random number 6 wood veneer number that I had there just to see and to give myself a place to cut. So obviously, I'm sorry, my head is in the way there. But I used my X-Acto knife and I just cut a partial slit in the page protector so that I could at least have like the plastic 5 come through to the other side. So it would be something that would be outside of the page protector in the album itself, but the ribbon is still mainly attached, or it is still attached to the other side, and the ribbon is coming up on the other side, whereas the canvas piece and then the plastic 5 are coming through on this side. So it's giving you a little bit of texture outside of the page protector on this second side. So something to think about as you are approaching your own project, especially if you're somebody who likes to do most things inside the page protectors. There's definitely opportunities to cut them up or do other things where you can have some embellishments living outside. As I went back through to figure out kind of what else did I want to do, I found another 4x6 card. I thought there were more. I'm just going through this one box to see if there were any other embellishments that I wanted to add on. Again, Anna will fill in this card when she gets back a little bit later, and you'll be able to see that in the blog post itself, whatever her own little story ends up looking like. I mainly just wanted to go through the main kit embellishments and see if there was something in particular that I wanted to add on. I'm probably going to use all of those long labels on their own, like use them together on a page. Obviously, we're only on story number 5, so I don't know yet what it's going to be. But I thought about adding like the red one onto the top there. It actually looks really cute. I might still do that now that I'm looking at it. I thought that would have been a fun way, or I could have added like the actual date, you know, stamp the date on the top. I didn't end up doing that, but I did end up adding a Moments tab sticker onto the top. As always, if you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments below.